We had the All-Star game yesterday.
Yes,
Yes, indeed.
yes.
Ant-Man got the MVP.
Yeah, he did.
You think it was well-deserved?
Well deserved, man. He's one of them kind where we've been just kind of waiting on him to kind of take over that title as the face of the league. I mean, we have a lot of great players right now with like Cooper Flag coming in. I mean, Wemby being, a transcending player himself. But as far as, and even Zion, I can even throw Zion in there, but Zion sometimes in and out the lineup. But as far as just true dynamic players that's out there, Ant-Man seems to give you a little bit of a 90s type vibe with a new age style of basketball, plus a little grit to go with it. So you talk about a complete skill set. He can shoot from the three, perimeter shots. He can post you up. He's explosive. He can play great defense. He's a leader naturally. He's truly authentic within himself. It showed yesterday on how much he really wanted to beat them OGs in that fourth game. So that's why he got MVP, and definitely well deserved.
It's cool, man. It seems like anytime anybody that wants to be the MVP can. And I think it was well-deserved because he was putting in work, but it just seems like every year you have somebody who's a little bit extra motivated. I remember that year Jason Tatum was like going off and Giannis was going off.
Jason Tatum's another one. Yeah.
So when some guys get motivated, I think Booker went off one year. Like they get motivated to actually play. And it's cool to see that those sparks of like competitiveness coming back to the sport. I know they're trying to make a lot of I don't want to say changes, but some little nuance additions to make it a little bit more engaging, a little bit more competitive. And I like how they kind of pitted the OGs versus, different players in world versus you. Like I like that because it kind of gives you something to be prideful about. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you're not just playing whatever, just out there loose. It's like you got something you could play forward to. Bragging rights represent. So I like how they segmented it a little bit. But I know of some other additions that you had some creative ideas you think they should add to it. What do you think will make it better?
Yeah, so I heard Anthony Edwards, he was talking about having a one-on-one tournament in the All-Star. And I think that would be dope, a one-on-one tournament. Maybe have I don't know, I was thinking maybe 8 to 10 players, battle it out, like a nice little bracket to see who's going to go all the way to one-on-one. I think that would be a super great addition because of the fact that you can't really – I feel like you really can't just lollygag that situation. And based off of even the way it was set up, there's still one player that I was looking at. I was like, man, I wanted him to kind of play a little bit more of who he is, like as if it was a game 7, like play more assertive. Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
I feel like we had a one-on-one tournament that would bring all of Luka out. Lulu gonna slow cook you to victory in that bad boy.
That's such a good idea.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's such a good idea.
I think that would be great. Another idea that I was looking at outside of that was a 5-player game of 21.
Oh, that would be tight.
And I was like, well, who would you like to have? I was like, well, you know how it is. Whatever
you Masters, man.
Yeah, because if you get 18 points. Everybody and mama gonna be trying to guard that same person, so it'd be cool to see a certain skill set. It's so I'm looking at a Kyrie Irving,
absolutely,
Anthony Edwards, like a Kevin Durant.
Of course, you got.
You know what I'm saying? Like a Wembanyama up in there.
Oh no,
you know what I'm saying? So you got those type of cats, and maybe like a Giannis or something up in there.
Yeah,
I think that would be super dope because that's like us playing NBA blacktop.
Absolutely.
So I think that would be really cool to have. Certain players. Maybe it's like, well, how would you even know fan voting?
Yeah.
Fan voting, because another person I'm going to throw in there that I would like to see replacing one of those players that I just brought out was like a LaMelo Ball.
No, absolutely.
It's like, why? LaMelo had to do that type of stuff whenever he was in Chino Hill. Like, that's his game.
He plays 21 every time he steps on the court.
Period. You feel me? So I would love to see that. Yeah. But those two formats would be great. But what the NBA provided this year, it was so refreshing.
It was.
It felt like we was watching our true favorite players play, and I feel like that's going to actually jumpstart a very competitive nature
back into the regular season.
Into this regular season.
That's what it's supposed to do. That's what it always did.
Man,
that's what it always did.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever won or lost had a chip on their shoulder when they went back into the season. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like you might have won MVP, but y'all ain't win shit. You know what I mean? And you just play harder.
Yep. because it made me think about what. Because here's the thing that I noticed when I watched Kawhi Leonard,
Oh man, he went off. He made a statement. I'm back.
he was in his bag so much, like as if he was back in Toronto,
Oh yeah,
like 2019.
he looked
Kawhi.
like he took a step forward.
I don't think okay. So I know like Wemby jump started with such great
Absolutely.
defense at the beginning of that first game, right? And I was like, I really love the way Wemby's playing because Wemby he has that mentality like how it was when basketball was really like that when you had like Tim Duncan,
Right.
you know, David Robinson, like it was
They
just
weren't trying
really
to play with you.
Kobe, Shaq, like it was really like that. But the back end was watching Kawhi turn it up
Yeah.
because Kawhi has your original like Kobe type style to his game.
Yeah, he got that Kobe bag.
You know what I'm saying? And so watching him really get into his bag and watching like how focused he was in his eyes and stuff like that type of stuff. I don't think like Kawhi knows he's one of the greatest players in the world, but I know he also credited like anybody can be the greatest player that day.
Yeah.
And I love that he said that. But it's something about how he plays specifically that literally makes NBA basketball look like NBA professional basketball. Like these literally are the best players in the world. For him to be able to go out there and drop 31 points against the best players in the world, literally the best players in the world, at a competitive level where they're trying to actually play defense, that goes to show you how good he really is. And I know Steve Ballmer. I mean, I like every once in a while they show Steve Ballmer being all happy, but I know he was like, man, Kawhi.
Absolutely.
First off, I'm excited, but this is what I want you to do. After this game, you're going to get in the crowd chamber. Then you're going to get in that Normatec. I want you to take some NAD. I need you to get 200 grams protein. I need for you to go sleep. I need for you to rest because we need that top Kawhi Leonard going into the last stretch of this regular season going to the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Period.
And I think they'll get him. I mean, it was nice to see Kawhi resurrected. And somebody else was nice to see resurrected was old Dame Lillard.
Man,
Dame Time.
I know that was great for his brain.
He might be back.
Meanwhile, the Lakers and the Celtics. First things first, the Celtics look so good, literally, for not having Jason Tatum in the lineup. It's showing me the depth that they have, the coaching that they have, and the chemistry that they have. So they beat the Lakers 111-89 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Jaylen Brown had like 32 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Peyton Pritchard came off the bench, having like 30 points himself. Back nice and healthy again. White obviously contributed as well. I mean, they got guards, they got defenders. Obviously, they got the best two-way defender because Jaylen Brown reminds me of a young Kawhi Leonard, young prime Kawhi Leonard from San Antonio, matter of fact. So he's coming into his own, along with the chemistry of the players they already got on the squad. They were just sending bodies at LA. When I think about what LA has, because I was thinking about how LeBron was like, hey, man, we don't have a championship style of team. It's like, you're right. Because what you have is you, LeBron, AR-15, a.k.a. Austin Reeves, and you got Luka Doncic, and then you have fill-in players. And so what happens is that the Lakers are maxed out with their starting five. And then after that, it's just kind of like fill-in players. You don't have players that can really create their own shot, players that can really defend too well. You have Luka who can score well, but he's not the greatest explosive defender. So it still slows down the production if you don't have key spot shooters on the team. You got Austin Reeves, who's a great basketball player, but at the same time, you need about 3 or 4 more of Austin Reeves coming off the bench. You got LeBron, but LeBron he's just in that stage of his career where he shouldn't be taking. He went 9 of 21 shooting. Luka went 9 of 22. Luka and LeBron are taking the most shots on that team. I just see that. 9 of 22 shooting, that got to be like 40-some% from the field. I mean, although Luka had 32, Luka had 25, LeBron had 20, so they both went 25, 5 and 3. LeBron went 24 and 5, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, that's cool, but if they are doing that for 4 quarters, they're gonna get beat like this every single time. You watch the game; they was good for about 3.25 quarters, rolling into the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth, steamroll. You know why? Run out of gas. You don't have enough depth on the team. So in order for the Lakers to kind of grow as a
That's a good
squad,
point.
in order for them to kind of grow as a squad, they're gonna have to give up some cap space, and it's gonna have to happen this summer. LeBron may be a Cleveland Cavalier in the future. I love LeBron, and I will always admire his game, and I still think he's the greatest player to ever live. I do believe it. But as far as in this time and season and now, the league is young now. The LaMelo Balls is now in their primes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
it's just the Cade Cunninghams. They in their primes now. Like, they all are ready to rock and roll. Even the De'Aaron Fox. They're in their primes. They ready to rock and roll. Like, it's their era now, and it's so interesting how that time flies. The reason why it seems like it flies is because LeBron has been playing in the league for 23 seasons. He's older than some of these dudes that has won a championship for the Thunder. Like, as many seasons he's been in the league, 23. Some of them weren't even 23 winning the championship. That goes to show you. And so when I look at LeBron, you think about LeBron's era. You with me? So it's easy to think about LeBron's era.
Yep.
With Melo and all them boys. So it's like easy to think about his era and KD. And it's all like, oh man, they still. Well, KD's still one of one because he's all of 7 foot tall. He's always gonna be the Slim Reaper. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the game like Dirk Nowitzki where he's not jumping when he's shooting. No, he's still pulling up over anybody. So it don't matter. So his game's always there. We still see Steph doing his thing. But these are scattered superstars who are the last of their kind. All the young guns, they literally have complete teams all across the board. So all these young teams like Orlando, freaking Detroit, even a team, I can even say like Washington Wizards, it's crazy because like Washington ain't that good. They ain't that bad either because they could beat LA on any given night too. The Atlanta Hawks, they ain't that good, but they ain't that bad because they could beat LA on any given night too. Point being is that superstar teams is coming to a close. It's coming to a close, bro. Like, you got to have depth. I'm thinking about like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's out. You know what I'm saying? Or whenever Big Chet Holmgren was out. But they got so much team basketball. They got depth.
I think they showed that recently. They showed that depth recently because they beat Cleveland, I think.
Yeah, they did.
And they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Cleveland shouldn't have let that one slip. But I tell you who looked good. Thunder looked good. They were missing Jay Will and Shot. You gotta have depth.
You gotta have depth. So looking at that, what happens later on in the season? Well, here we are later on in the season. And I know people will talk about the experience of playoffs, and I hear different talk shows, talking about, oh well, sure, hey, you gotta have, like depth. You gotta have players that really, can really move the sticks when you have superstars. Well, see, the thing is, the superstars now are younger, and it's a superstar collective of a basketball team versus just one or two superstars, like a big two, big three. So what happens is later on, now going into the playoffs, oh, well, can they win a 7-game series? Yes, because the superstars that have big threes, they're going to win 1 or 2 games. The teams that have a whole team, they're the ones that's going to win a 7-game series and go round and round and round after round until they can easily get to the Eastern or Western Conference Finals, depending on where the teams are. But the point being is, like, you got to have a complete team. So Thunder, they're going to be back. When I think about them having the possibility of getting back to the Western Conference Finals. But I think now we're looking at, because there's so many young superstar teams as a collective, there's always going to probably be a new championship team for the next, in my opinion, next 3 or 4 years. I don't think anybody's like have a big gap in between when it comes to building a legacy.
Good.
Welcome back. I feel like we have officially been in factory settings right back to how basketball should be.
Yep. Welcome back to basketball. That's how basketball should be. It should be a competitive change of dominance regularly if every team is competing for the same goal. And it's only not when it's large sway. But you're absolutely right. I think the pool of available talent, as far as like the upper echelon, is being appreciated and prioritized a little bit more, right? They're not only, and I think it's a byproduct of the collection of like just the top superstars, right? You take the top superstars, but you offload a lot of other talent into the swirling, you know what I mean, marketplace of NBA players. And so now you have a lot of this loose but very talented individuals who are on the move when generally they might be a third or fourth option on a good team with a long-term contract, kind of like what's his name from Denver Nuggets, the third guy, he's injured right now, Aaron Gordon.
Yeah,
Kind of like an Aaron Gordon or
Yeah.
MPJ, right? When he was there, it's like you got these third or fourth guys on championship teams who should be having these still 3-4 year contracts. But now with that big, everybody get the superstar, you got to offload a lot of those guys. You know, and then teams kind of been slowly but surely collecting them up, collecting up some of those B plus players, and then doing good drafting very well, and then taking them draft picks that once again was offloaded into the marketplace. But you know, if you watch the National Geographic, it's crazy how just things naturally, as things kind of die, other things are developed. You know what I mean? And we're watching it with the NBA as we're just on the other side of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that was going on for so long. And that's how you won, because it was new at the time. People had they had more regulated and balanced across the board. But then you come out with these guys, and it's just like it's too much. You got a guy at the perimeter you got to watch out for. Then you got, you know, some dominance down low. So it's just naturally adjusting. But speaking of the dominance down low, that's what I think LA is missing. So LA is missing the dominance in the front court. They're missing that. And I wish DeAndre Ayton would fit the bill. I feel like he should be able to. I thought about this the other day. I watched them play. They look good. I think this past game they ran out of gas, but they looked good in several games this year. And they put Marcus Smart on now. I see now he kind of starts at the 3. I think that's a smart move. When you got guys like Marcus Smart, Patrick Beverly, I think you just got to have them on the court. Figure out a way to keep them on the court. They're just squirrely guys. They're going to play help defense. They're going to be savvy. They're going to always be poking at the ball. So you're just going to probably, as a team, have more turnovers, a little bit more security on defense. He's going to fill in those gaps. He's going to actually bounce over and have an energetic style of play on defense versus other guys who maybe won't crash on the driver because they just, I ain't my man. You know what I mean? When you got a guy that's constantly helping on defense, it's harder to score on your team, and you slowly start winning a little bit more games, hard fought. Anyways, but I don't know. I think they look decent, the Lakers, to me. I think they're going to go as DeAndre Ayton goes. This last game against the Celtics, he had 4 points and 7 rebounds. Austin Reed had 7 rebounds. That's not enough rebounds. And I'm looking across the board at the rebounds. They look tired, or they must have been tired. You know, they play a lot of games. It must have been a back-to-back. But for Smart to have 1, LeBron to have 4, 8 and 7, Austin Reed 7, Luka 5, like. Rebounds are an effort thing. Like, they must have been tired. They must have been tired.
That's what JJ Redick's been talking about, effort, bro. and it shows on the stat line every single time. So when I'm seeing 4 rebounds from LeBron, 5 from Luka, come on, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Come
tired.
on.
They must have been tired. And they're gonna go as the leadership goes. You know what I mean? And that's why sometimes if you have a guy that's just high energy, like a Ja Morant, you know what I mean, when he was, you know, in his prime. When you got a guy like that that's just flying around the court, it just that's why a guy like Ja Morant or Giannis Antetokounmpo, a guy like that, or Russell Westbrook, they can single-handedly energize a team to the playoffs. It's very hard to win the championship when you're top-heavy like that, but just the fact that they're producing at that high output level just amplifies the team, because you want to go easy, but he done stole the ball. Now he taking off. He's like, damn, I got to at least get down there just in case. You know what I mean? For the oop, right?
Facts.
But he's just pushing the pace. And so, I mean, Luka, you look at Luka and you're like, all right, bro, like you sometimes aren't the pace pusher. Right? We get it. You know, so you don't expect it out of him. You look at LeBron is aging now. LeBron is probably the king of that. Being one person, but his energy, slamming it on one end, running down, scoring, dunking it on the next end, getting the crowd involved, you can't really be tired. You know, when somebody going off like that, you're like, all right, I got to play the game. And it electrifies you. So now at year 21,
23.
year 23, excuse me, it's almost a blur now. It's like, whatever. Y'all, now you're a million. Big James is still doing it. We don't expect him to have to do it. Then you look at, okay, Marcus Smart. He used to be that guy. But we don't expect him to do it now towards the back end of his career. And so then you say, okay, when you bring in a young center, yeah, but you need a young dog. You need a dog on that team if you want consistency. Now, they're going to have games where they're just feeling fresh, everybody's hitting, energy's going to be up. They're going to look like a championship team in those games. And then you're going to have the games where they're tired, okay? And they're not going to look like a championship team. So they're going to have the topsy-turvy all season long, right? It's just what's going to happen. And I do agree with you. I think that if he doesn't stay with the Lakers, he goes to Cleveland, and Cleveland will be a powerhouse, I think, with LeBron James, especially just walking on over there because you ain't got to pay him all this crazy money. He can go walk in there with freaking Spider-Man and Harden. What? You talk about dominance in the East for the next 2-3 years if you want to ride off to the sunset and just cancel out at 25? Give me 2 years with Cleveland. I'm going to sit on down at 25 years.
And that's if.
Put a quarter in the game.
And you said it right there. If he can walk over there without having for them to have to give up anything.
Be like, man, if y'all keep asking, collected.
Up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's collected. Boom. You know what I mean?
No, I'm good.
Tom, good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Me too. But yeah, man, I think that would be actually really cool. I love what they're building. We're gonna come back to Cleveland, but I'm gonna talk on Boston for a second. Man, Boston, I don't know how in the hell they're doing what they're doing. Listen, you're absolutely right. We gotta put some respect on their game because initially when I saw that lineup, I'm like, all right, come on, Lakers, man, y'all gonna have to pull this one out. Nope. But you know what? Boston was playing with a little more energy. God damn it. They was playing with some energy.
Period.
They was running around. Lakers wanted to take one off for tonight. And I get it. Listen, I understand that. I'm actually a fan of load management. I think you got to take care of this talent that you have. Like, we're milking these guys for 85 games. All my basketball players understand. You play 85 games right now. Do you know how tired you are? Now, we'll go to the gym. We might run 5 or 6, maybe 8 on a good day in one day. How do you feel the next day?
Cooked.
Do it again the next night. And then, matter of fact, we've played pickup, and then we've also played a game. For whatever freaking reason, the game is just as exhausting as pickup because the adrenaline's higher, your blood rate is, your heart rate is higher, right? You know what I mean? You're just in it. Mm-hmm. And the game speed is up. You're always on. It ain't like you can take it off. You're always on when you're playing in the game. That's a lot of games.
That's why depth is so important.
That's a lot of damn games. And you got to have good depth, man. And so initially I saw this and I was like, yeah, it should be a good depth for the Lakers. But then I seen them young boys running around. Sam Hauser is a good glue piece. Kind of like Luke Kennard. I think Luke Kennard was a good pickup for them. They have to figure out how to pull the talent out of the locker room for the Lakers. And if J.J. Ryan ain't the guy to do it, I don't think he's not a good head coach. I think he's a great mind and he should be a head coach. But take it from a business perspective. CEOs, a lot of times, aren't the smartest person in the room. But they are in the position to have the resources and they have the vision to know what they need to get to the goal and to get what need to be done. And so then they get the right people in the room. And the Lakers almost have a similar issue as like the Cowboys, right? It's a culture thing. You need to get some type of glue in there, a fire starter to light the fire out of these guys. You got talent in the room. They got a playoff team right now. I don't think unless LeBron James puts the crown on and just goes beast mode in the playoffs, because that's what's going to take. Because Luka is the leading scorer in the NBA right now. If he used to pull his team by himself to the damn finals, with LeBron and Austin Reeves going to give you 3 games in the playoffs, maybe not 4, but he'll give you 3. Rui Hachimura will give you some games in the playoffs. If they can pick this team and make it to the playoffs healthy, if they can go healthy, DeAndre Ayton going to give you 2 games. He's not going to give you no more than that. And they better plan around the 2 he's going to give you. See, teams be trying to say, hey, man, we own your contract. You're supposed to give us 5 games. He's not going to do it. Mm-mm. So plan for that. Understand when he started in the first quarter, he got it rolling. This is one of them games. Run the offense through him. He's going to have 33 points, 15 rebounds, and some crazy shit. And then they're going to try to, let's run offense to him next game. No, see what he going to give you. That's how they're going to have to play with them boys. But currently constructed, I think they got something. They're going to have to do some energy management or something to figure that out. Celtics, not the case. They playing with energy. Nikola Vucevic, I forgot about him. Peyton Pritchard is always a bucket. He dropped 30 with ease. The hell?
That's what I'm saying.
Pritchard, he made, you know what, I'm a sports bettor sometimes. So I do the DraftKings. And Peyton Pritchard used to always put up points. He was like a sneaky little pick, right? You pick Peyton because you know when he gets in, he buzzing. Like he don't stop moving. Flip around. He's a walking bucket. I think I don't know if he played starter minutes. Hell, he played the most minutes out of everybody.
But he's an energy resource.
Energy. He don't know how to not play with energy.
That's what, whenever you talking about like a Russell Westbrook, like those type of players, you have to have those type of players. Those type of players is what is really like the energetic force of a team, even whenever they consciously are not even aware of it. You got to have those type of players. So that's what Peyton Pritchard is to the Boston.
I'm telling you, bro.
It is what it is.
Man, so I mean, who do you think the best teams available are right now? Yeah, LA got the Clippers tonight. Kawhi look good, but
so best teams in the league right now?
Yeah.
Right now, we'll roll with them Pistons.
Oof.
Detroit Pistons.
Detroit. Who else?
Spurs. That's why I can't wait for this matchup tonight.
That's gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah, San Antonio's going to Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm very curious. It's gonna be at 6 p.m. Very looking forward to that one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game because I want to see how Wemby plays, but I also want to see how Cade's like presence. He calms everybody down.
He does.
His game is just second to none.
He plays a good game.
He I don't know what he did over the summer, but he took arguably one of the biggest jumps of maturity that I've ever seen in a player when it comes to them being championship ready now.
Figured it out now.
Yeah, it's like he figured it out or something. But yeah, those teams for sure. Obviously, you got OKC. I'm not going to sleep on the Nuggets, but I think the Nuggets, they're always going to be kind of like that team where they're just always there. Kind of like how back in the 90s where the Jazz was just always there. Whenever they played the Bulls, they was just always there. I feel like that's how Denver is. I like the Knicks, but I think Boston and Detroit, that's who I can see being in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like easily. Them two teams right there, I don't know if they would play each other or they would or one or the other would find their ways to the Eastern Conference Finals. Those teams right there, definitely the truth. As far as anybody else,
not the Raptors.
Raptors, they're decent. I think they're good. I think they can knock off, they can get past the first round. But that's about it. But I'll tell you who else I think is actually really good. Houston. I like Houston. I like what they have. I think they have a really good team. They got depth. They got great coaching. And the easy money sniper, because he has help.
Easy money sniper.
Because he has help, that just makes things so much better where now he can completely play his game. Because, like KD the type where he's like, look, man, I just need a team around me.
That's it. I just want to hoop, man.
And I just want to hoop. But now he has a team around him, so you're seeing where he can drop 30, 35 points on any given night.
Yeah.
Definitely the game changer.
And they have an attitude. And KD, they can embody the attitude that he wants to bring to the game. Because KD plays with a very stoic but aggressive attitude.
Mm-hmm.
He's not quiet and like docile. He's not like a calm, quiet. But he still plays with an aggressive attitude. And I like the way that I think it's a perfect fit for this team without Dillon Brooks. I think Dillon Brooks is going to tip it. It's too much. And sometimes Dillon Brooks, depending on if he's not at the right place, can tip it. Like Memphis, Dillon Brooks was really an ideal piece for a minute until they embodied that attitude too much and they weren't quite as mature to know when to reel it back like him.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many Dillon Brooks on the team. And then they reach their peak and then
they all try to replicate that same energy. Yeah.
And when you have the leadership with Ime being that leader, then now he doesn't have to worry about trying to be the captain in the locker room because he doesn't want to have to be there. and you got veterans on the team, so it can also run through more of a panel when it comes to like having a veteran leadership voice.
Yes.
He can be quiet, he can be stoic, he can do what he do and just lead by showing up and being a bucket and showing you what it looks like to be a professional bucket getter. I'm a professional bucket getter. I'm gonna lead by showing you how to be a professional bucket getter.
You ain't
That
lying.
means I practice hard, I come show up early, stay late, and I'm smart about the game and watch film. You want to be a professional bucket getter? Follow my lead. I ain't gonna do all this, but you can follow through my behavior. That's all I want to do. I think he's in the perfect spot for that at Houston. I think they're gonna, if not now, they're gonna have a shot. They're gonna have a crack at it.
Sure, they're gonna try to go for it this year. I
Don't blame them.
don't see why they wouldn't, especially at least trying to get into the Western Conference this year. Why not?
Why
You
not?
have to strike the iron while it's hot. You know what I mean? You got Amen Thompson that's coming into his own, just like his twin brother out there in Detroit, which I wouldn't be surprised seeing them two playing in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals because their style of play, how do I explain this? They're like Zion and Paul George put together.
You gonna say Zion?
Yes. Zion
I
and Paul
put
George.
Zion on like Space Jam. He's one of those aliens, man. He's
Have you seen Amen Thompson? He's like an alien with his athleticism.
Is he?
And so is Asar. They're
Okay.
both the same way. And
If you're gonna say Zion, I just have a newfound respect. I've watched their game, but I haven't watched their game intently to pay attention to like their little movements and stuff like that. They're like that,
I've been watching them
like
since
Zion.
I've been watching them since Overtime Elite. When
Think
they played-
about Zion.
I know exactly who I'm
I
thinking
don't care
about.
if Zion ever wins a championship in the league or whatever.
Yes.
We're all gonna respect Zion for being just one of them guys, along with Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook. Some of these dudes are just different. You know what I'm saying? MJ, LeBron, like
They're different.
they just different bounce. Ja, you know what I'm saying? Some of these guys.
So Amen Thompson, he has a different like
One of them?
he's one of them where from the east to the west to the north of the south of the basketball court, he's everywhere. Everywhere. Like he can post up on you, he can rebound on you, he can rebound and dunk on you.
But bounce
Bounce.
like that.
Yes.
Like
Now-
a Zion.
Like Zion. Now, let me break this down a
Okay.
little bit more because I know it's like there's no way.
No. I just, before I give him that respect, because I'm going to give it to him, because
Yes.
I trust what you're saying. Before I give it to him, I'm like, for sure, like, hey.
So
that's different.
So what Zion has that no one has, that he's just physically just bigger than everyone else.
Yeah.
Like but
We're
whenever it
talking
comes
about-
to still having a decent frame,
From 0 to 100, bing, like a bouncy ball.
Amen Thompson.
Okay.
He got it. He got it. And so
Okay,
when
somebody else has said that, like, I mean, a player, maybe Durant, somebody's commented on his athleticism.
his athleticism is the reason, him and Asar, the reason why they're playing, the reason why they got a chance to play so much as rookies is because they were just more athletic than everybody. Now I saw that
Okay.
I saw that coming
Okay.
out of Overtime Elite with Rob
Gotcha.
Dillingham. You remember Robert Dillingham?
Yeah,
So, because Rob now he plays for Chicago, but he got drafted by the Timberwolves.
got you. Exactly.
And all I was
And they
thinking,
used to comment on his game. They said he had a really good bag, too.
yeah,
Now, is
bro,
Rob like that? Because I really,
Rob is like that. He just ain't had his opportunity yet, but he on his way.
okay.
He's on his way. But when I be looking at those, I'm like, man, they're just such freak athletes. So it's not a surprise that Detroit is doing as good as they are, and Houston is doing as great as they
Yeah,
are.
when you got one of those guys, man, that's just all over the place, you just got to keep them on the court.
You know how I was saying how like
Good things are going to happen.
great things are gonna
They're
happen.
going to get the random ass hustle rebound. Like, that's money that's available that you don't account for. They're going to go get all of that money off
That's
the
what
table.
they do.
They're going to get them scraps that's finna roll out of bounds. Whoop, nope, get that to us. That might turn into 2 or 3. You know,
Easy
it's
money
them
sniper.
little bitty. They're going to put just enough pressure on the other team that maybe them shots they'd have had easy, they contest it, so then they might be preventing points from the other team getting. That little easy drive, easy lay they normally getting because ain't nobody want to do help defense. They coming from the other side of the court. Bam, ain't nothing easy. It's a small shit.
It's the small shit. And so when I was thinking about that, I was thinking like,
That's right.
I don't know what their plus minus is, but it got to be plus when I'm thinking about what they just do behind the scenes. It's kind of like how what we would expect out of Alonzo Ball
When he's healthy.
when he's healthy, when it comes to all the other things that allows for the engine to run smoother.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's like Asar and Amen Thompson. They're like, if it was in a vehicle, they would be the electrical system that keeps everything in line.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I look at like Amen Thompson's like his defensive skills, his rebounding, finding ways, like you said, where the ball look like it's out of bounds the next minute. Is so fast and so athletic enough to get the basketball first, probably pass it to KD, easy money sniper. KD, getting up for a quick jumper or a shooter three. Yeah. It's just those little details that just keeps the engine running. And like when they're off the court, you also start to see how much athleticism kind of goes down.
Yep.
And so when I'm looking at that, it's like, why does it remind you? It reminds me of like a Duke Zion.
Yeah.
Like, and because it's not the offensive side now. When I was talking about Paul George,
generating that extra energy, extra torque to the off and defense.
Yeah. And when I think about like Paul George, I'm just looking at how like sometimes Amen Thompson, I know Asar can do it a little bit, but Amen, whenever he wants to be a scorer, like it can be low key dangerous because he ain't even in his final form yet. And all I'm looking at was like, I think this is his second or third season. But his first season, he played like it was his third season. Second season, plays like it's like his fifth season. What I'm looking at is maturity level and effort. Mm-hmm. And so when I think about it now, maturity level and effort going into later on into the playoffs. So like last year, they did well. This year, they're making a huge jump. I think they're like third or fourth. Well, I think they're fourth behind Denver in the West. But it's the fact that all I'm looking at is if you allow for KD to be KD, where he don't have to be the extra number one option.
He's at the perfect place for that.
Good luck. Because KD the type where, well, look, if the opportunity presents itself, we're neck and neck in a basketball game, KD wins. If it's one of those things where they always have to play catch-up ball, then 9 times out of 10, the other team's going to have a chance to win. They'll probably maybe win at the end of the fourth quarter. They're going to win in overtime because of fatigue with Houston, something like that. But if it's a neck-and-neck situation and you going bucket for bucket, I'm taking KD every single time. And so when you have an Amen Thompson that is on the court, not in foul trouble, that provides spacing, that provides defensive skill help, extra offensive rebounds, yeah, Houston's going to be dangerous.
Houston's definitely going to be dangerous. That's interesting that you felt the same way.
Yeah, because to your point, what's interesting is the NBA ratings have been lower than in most years. So I think that's just because we have a new era of basketball that's here. So, and then eventually it's going to go back up. It's like, what do you mean? Okay, so we had originally LeBron all these years going to the NBA Finals, which is something that so many fans in particular have taken for granted because it's hard to get to the finals, let alone winning. Okay, so that's number one. Then you have Steph and the Golden State Warriors in their era. They've been keeping it popping for so long.
Absolutely.
During those times, what was going on? The Cade Cunninghams was in high school. The LaMelo Balls was playing overseas, so they wasn't quite. The Lonzo Balls was starting to emerge a little bit. Big Baller Brand was starting to emerge a little bit, and people think that was just like 2 years ago. No, it wasn't. It's been about a good 6 years now, bro.
It's been a minute.
It's been a little minute because Zoe's a little bit older now.
Yeah.
So you got to think that stuff was popping when he was at UCLA.
Absolutely.
So I'm just looking at that era. And then it's like, okay, so things have been slowly starting to crank up a little bit, but not all the way. Mature in age. So now you watching LaMelo, and LaMelo you almost forget, you blink, and him and Cade are like, oh, no, we're ready.
Yeah, yeah.
We're ready. We're more mature enough now. I know those years kind of went by fast. You almost forget, oh, dang, LeBron 41. Okay. But LeBron's still doing his thing, but like, it's not the same as it was when it comes to the popularity, the explosionness, all that kind of stuff. So now you're looking at, okay, well, is it Luka? Well, now it's like, well, Luka has been kind of like this, and he kind of has this. I love Kawhi, but he kind of has a Kawhi energy where he's like, if I'm truly healthy, I'm going to explode on the scene. But if I'm not, I'm going to kind of be behind the scenes. And so that's what you have in Luka. So that's why it's literally like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're gonna get because you almost forget whenever he was with the Mavs and they was like the fifth seed, and then he took him to the NBA Finals and he was making everybody look like cement to me. That's literally how Luka was playing that year. I was like, dang, I was like, he just came out of nowhere. Then he got back quiet again, right? So meanwhile, you look at like Orlando Magic started budding a little bit. You got Paolo Banchero, them boys starting to slowly bud a little bit. It's like, oh, okay. But it's like, okay, so now Orlando is not a sorry team, but they're not the greatest team, but they're a young up and coming team.
Right.
So they switch roles. Meanwhile, Detroit come out of nowhere. They've been losing. And then they get Asar and they get Kay Cunningham, and all of a sudden, boom. All of a sudden, hello, they got the best record in the NBA. Meanwhile, we always been knowing what OKC can do. They just kept shipping their players out because everybody started using like OKC's team because they had so much talent. They could draft so much great talent. Shout out to the player personnel services over there.
Mm-hmm.
But they can draft so much talent, dog, to a point it was like, well, dang, since they don't know how to use all this talent, let's just keep picking off of this tree with fresh fruit. And so that's what happened. The James Harden was gone. The Russell Westbrook was gone. The Kevin Durant was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got all
They
that.
took that for granted. Those aren't easy to replace athletes.
So meanwhile, Chet comes into the scene with Wemby, right? And so Chet was the big name coming out of high school. I remember that. And
He was the big dude, yeah, man.
and then all of a sudden they was like, okay, well, we're getting ourselves another chance. And we're gonna start getting these players. I think they traded for Shea. I forgot where. I don't know if Shea got drafted by them.
They did a great job again. They did it again, and they got another championship. So the proof is in the pudding.
So now I was like, okay. And then obviously Jason Tatum was in that same class with Lonzo. You almost forget that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, dang, all these different things, all these puzzle pieces that could have shifted. Where imagine if LA would have picked up Jason Tatum.
Yeah, it's always those what ifs.
Always those what ifs, right?
Yeah, I know that burns. It has to sting. Only if Golden State would have picked up LaMelo.
Point being, right?
Oh, the NBA would be flipped upside down right now. We'd be having way different conversations.
It would have been crazy.
Because with that dominance, things would have changed. People would have changed their draft and how they move and maneuver to offset that. So,
it's like going back to the future. And just switching.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
Everything would have changed.
Dang.
Because everybody would have had to try to respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
You already got the Splash Brothers, and then you add in LaMelo. And they had Wiggins.
They did have Andrew Wiggins at the time, didn't they? Dang.
And Draymond.
Dang.
They were set up.
And then we had glitches, right? With NBA ratings, again, to that point when I'm thinking about the Ja Morants came in. The Ja and the Zion came in. And so that shifted it because it's like, are these going to be the next face of the league? So we're literally trying to. I think social media played a role because we started getting exposed to more content and everything when it comes to highlights and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
To a point where it was like we was trying to speed up the pace of all these future face of the franchise because people have been seeing LeBron be so consistent so long they just got tired of seeing him. That's just.
Yeah, I think you know what? I think right now, specifically now, I don't know what's going on, historically right now with the ratings as far as the past few seasons and even this season. But right now, it's a lot going on. We just came out of the football season with the Super Bowl, and you had the Bad Bunny, that energy, you know what I mean, kind of kept going for a while just because of the cultural deal and the political deal. And then we went right into the Winter Olympics. You got the Winter Olympics that just been going on. You know what I mean? Basketball is going on simultaneously. The NBA All-Star. You got all this type of stuff going on. Then you got in politics, everything going upside down with the politics right now. You got a war going on over there with Iran and bombs going off. We're going down there to Venezuela. I mean, we got a lot going on right now. So I think people are just probably like media consumed, especially with social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all this type of stuff being also a big part of people's day. I think it's a lot.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. And so I think it's an overload of things that you have to figure out, okay, outside of work and then outside of your responsibilities, now this is your time to give your attention to something. You might have a 3 hour window, 2 hour window, 6 hour window, 8 hour, whatever. Out of them times, and then you got to work out. You should be working out. You know what I'm saying? You got to find time to like pay attention to all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think right now, since it's not playoff time and the cup playoffs is not going on, it's still going on.
What?
That cup, the NBA Cup, it's over, right? It
That's
gets over before the All Star, right?
Yeah, you got the NBA Cup, and then we had All Star break.
Then All Star.
The All Star break already happened.
Yeah.
So we the last like 25, 30 games of the
yeah.
season.
Yeah, it's a downtime, right? People are overloaded right now with so much going on. Pay attention to it's a downtime in the NBA. I think that's probably why immediately right now stuff is kind of light. But you know, it's going to pick up. Like right around playoff time, I think it's going to be a spike. I'd be surprised if it's not. I think right now it's like it's a lot going on, other things to pay attention to. Nothing too critical going on in the NBA. Trade block is already over, so we're not like fringing on the edge of our seats to see who's going to get traded next. So that's kind of like, okay, that's down. You know, it's like, all right, NBA, I'll be cool for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then playoffs come. It's like, I think a lot of attention's going to come. I'd be curious to know if it's not a higher rating historically this playoffs than it's been in the past.
I think the only reason why it could possibly be is if you have the young budding superstars back there. Not including OKC. I'm gonna explain why. So there's a lot of the younger generation that's kept up with the Cade Cunninghams of the world since high school,
Mm-hmm.
the LaMelo Balls, the Cooper Flags. You feel me? And so they
want to see their guys.
They want to see their guys, bro. Period. You know what I'm saying? So that's the level I think that we are on right now. But if you're seeing,
that's true.
If we're seeing like.
They want to see
Boston,
Ant-Man.
Probably not. They want to see Ant-Man. They want to see the T-Wolves up in there.
Yeah.
Everybody, people, we living in a population now, like our society now, which I truly understand, get tired of seeing the same thing.
Yeah, we do.
And so if we get tired of seeing the same thing when it comes to the same teams every single time,
yeah,
it's time for a change. And honestly, truthfully, I expect to see an Anthony Edwards in the NBA.
I do too.
I expect to see a Cade Cunningham in the finals. I expect to see Charlotte in the playoffs. I do expect it. Like, it's because of the talent and the maturity level that they have displayed.
Yeah, they're gonna have to step on it.
Well, yeah, I mean they're in they're one game away of being above 500, which is good. When I think about the injuries they consumed at the beginning of the season and scratching and crawling themselves back, they're in the 9th seed and they still got about 25 games left.
I really like. I'm looking at the Eastern Conference standings right now. You got the Pistons number 1, Celtics number 2, Knicks number 3, Cleveland 4, Raptors 5, 76ers 6, Magic number 7, Heat number 8, Hawks number 9, and Hornets.
So Hornets are 10.
Number 10. So Hornets are 10. They're not. They're inside of striking distance.
I forgot the Hawks won last night.
I don't think they have to pay attention to anybody else. I don't think the Bucks, Bulls, Wizards, Nets, or Pacers are going to make any big leaps. The Hawks are not going to win the Eastern Conference Finals. Not my opinion. Neither are the Heat. The Magic, I think, are going to make some people nervous. I think they're going to ruffle some feathers and knock out some seeds. They don't need to sleep on the Magic. Not with that addition to Desmond Bane. Sixers now. Raptors, I don't know. Maybe. I think they'll be in it again. Cleveland, you better watch out. I think right now, the only thing that gets me about the Pistons is youth. And I think youth and talent will get you in there. I think it'll get them there. They might even get to the Eastern Finals. I don't know if that young is going to win the championship. We don't see it happen often with a team with that. We see that team like that come in there and put up a good showing, like kind of like Minnesota a couple seasons back with that. Yeah, we see that team come in there, you know, and they make you nervous. But it's just something, you know, clock management, emotional management, maturity, something happens towards the back end of second, third round playoffs game, going 7 games. They kind of start unraveling. So I think they need a little bit more maturity to win the big show. So Detroit wouldn't be necessarily my top pick for the championship right now. But we'll see, because they got a hell of a coach. and talented team. But I think the Knicks probably could beat Pistons. Cleveland probably could. You better watch out for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Celtics, I don't know how they're doing what they're doing, but they are just balling. They're deep. They're deeper than what we thought.
They got chemistry.
And they got chemistry. But Detroit got the best dollar record in the league, man. I think they're talented. There's a talented team, high energy, and they got attitude.
More defensive than offensive style
Yeah.
of team.
And the NBA is letting them play with that attitude. You know, Cade Cunningham settling in as a leader. And I like that because you need somebody that you know is going to have the rock. He's going to manage the offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to see that as far as like a team's maturity. But anyway,
I'll tell you this though. We said the same thing about OKC last year
what we saying?
when it comes to they're too young to win the championship.
Oh, we did.
And so all I'm looking at is just the idea that the new era is quietly here. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely right.
They're all quietly here. So we're thinking, okay, well, they need a more mature team. Well, let's think about it. The Knicks are young. Boston's young. OKC's young. The only other team that's a little bit more veteran style in all the NBA that's up with all these teams that I just spoke of, Denver Nuggets.
You know, I guess that's a great point. It's a great point that no matter how young the team is, the bar right now is young. So it's not like they're below the bar because the reigning champions were one of the youngest teams. There's no more like that kind of, we saw the tail end of that. That was our generation wave. The LeBrons, the Stephs, the KDs, the Hardens. Like, that was our wave. You know what I mean? They had their dominance, and now you got these new guys coming up, 24, 25, 26 years old. It is their time. These guys that are in their junior season, the third, fourth year in the league, they're not rookies and pups no more. And that's the LaMelos, that's the Ant-Mans, that's the, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
they
ready. Shai Gilgeous, he ready. He showed you. We ready now.
Yes.
We ready now. We don't need a lot of time. So I like to see one appearance from just watching the game. Normally what I see is a team that's that young. They have one strong appearance. They make it to the first, second, third round. Everybody's hoorah. Then they come back and they win it. Right? I don't know if Detroit's had maybe that was last year. Maybe that was their time to get in there and get seasoned. It's something about the playoffs needing to season you. At least one time. You get in there, you're like, okay, we got to take this shit seriously. How we prepare for the playoffs is different. You know what I mean? You normally see a seasoning process, and then when they come back, then they come back. I think OKC might have went through that too.
You just made me think about something. What was Detroit's record last year?
I don't know. They had a good year though. They definitely made some noise, and people were like, all right, Detroit, okay, let's see what you got. Said a lot to me about their coach. Like,
Yeah, they was 44-38 last year, and they finished in the 6th seed last year. So when you think about playoffs, you see them.
yeah, all right. It might have been the seasoning then. Because watch out.
And that's the reason why I was talking about with Charlotte. I think Charlotte, they gonna do what the Pistons did last year.
Right, they're gonna get to the playoffs.
They're gonna get
seasoned.
Yes.
And then once you get seasoned, that's probably why they're coming out with a different pep in their step. And I think OKC had to do the same thing because I think the year prior they had a good year.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to the playoffs and got seasoned. And then they came back. And I think they were favored that next year when they came back. And they actually came back and won the big show, but they were still young. But yeah, it's always seemed like it's a seasoning process. And whoever responds from that process seems to be the ones that really, really are showing enough about that.
Did you know the most threes this season since January 1st of 2026?
Anthony Edwards?
Nope.
Ooh.
It has been LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, and Con Kennable.
Wait, most threes for what? For as a team?
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
But to think that them three is leading all the NBA teams with the most threes since January 1st of 2026.
I'm going to tell you right now. Charlotte got some talent.
They do, dog.
Charlotte got some talent.
They do.
Because it used to just be LaMelo, Miles Bridges.
Yes.
Okay, then you had PJ coming in doing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
They got some talent.
They got some talent, dog.
Okay, they really got some talent. Con Kennable is a show enough shooter. He done broke the rookie record or something crazy like that.
He did. He already broke it. And
He's
he's still going.
shooter. You know what I mean? Why not? LaMelo's a professional bucket getter, and Brandon Miller is better than I thought. I didn't know he was that explosive.
He's Paul George reincarnated.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And the thing is, they got him listed at 6'7". Have you seen him stand by LaMelo? LaMelo's 6'7". He already took a growth spurt. He's like Jason Tatum. He's like 6'10".
I don't know.
Or 6'9", 6'10".
I know I saw my man throw a lob at him the other day, and the way he jumped up there, boom. I said, okay.
He's
That's
athletic.
a different type of bounce.
He's starting to slowly build because he was a little bit slender.
He's a little bit slender. He wasn't that powerful before.
Shoulders
But now he's
kind of
coming in there
damaged
with
a little bit. Now
attitude.
Yes.
He's jumping in there violently, like, boom. I said, okay. If they got that coming from them there too, and they got LaMelo, the hybrid LaMelo at the one. You got Miles Bridges.
He's a true point guard at the one, like a true, not a shooting guard playing the one. He's a true point guard playing the one.
You got Miles Bridges at the 4. That's explosive coming off the ground. That's going to help cover up a lot for your center, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Conkanapple at the 3. Lights out, sit in the corner.
He's better at defense than most people give him credit for, kind of like how Clay was whenever he was young. But he's a legit sniper. Forget like breaking the rookie record. He's still top 5 with shooting threes, period. Efficiency wise too. But the most efficient 3-point shooter on the team right now, at least in the last like month, has been Brandon Miller. And you want that dog to be the like the most efficient right now.
He's kind of covered up like Miles Bridges. Is it Miles Bridges? No. Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges from New York?
From New York.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds he's covered up like that.
Sneaky.
He's sneaky because there's so much talent to pay attention to. You forget that he's just Mr. Consistent. Dude be putting up 20, 18 and 20 like it's like walking. He's walking 18 to 20. Like a game. We don't even pay attention to him. You know what I mean? He hitting his spots. Bam. He can get his shots.
And he's pulling up on anybody and everybody. That's the thing.
He's got an old school game too.
Paul George. And it's funny because he said out of college that was his favorite player. And after it took about 2 or 3 seasons, I said, "Oh, I see why. Y'all are one and the same. Literally one and the same." So he knows his game. I was thinking about their center. I think his name is Diabate.
Diabate, yeah.
So
slender kid.
Once he puts a little weight, it's funny you said that because you already know where I was getting at. Once he puts a little weight on him, then they're gonna have their certified center. He's just such an athlete right now. And so when you have someone like LaMelo on the team that knows how to find his players, and now his players are starting to slowly understand spacing, that makes things different. There was a podcast I was listening to, I forgot.
Canupa put 20 points up yesterday.
Bro, he's a walking bucket. He's a walking bucket. There was one of the players on Charlotte that was talking. I think went on Jeff Teague's podcast and was just kind of just speaking on like LaMelo is literally making things so much easier for everybody.
Of course.
And I was like, LeVar been saying this for years.
Yeah, he's been saying it for years.
But it's hard for people to see the vision whenever it's a kid that still has to grow all the way up. It's almost like man, that's a palm tree right there.
Right.
That don't look like a palm tree. Ain't nothing but a tree with some weeds. You gotta let it grow first.
Absolutely.
See, there's a palm tree I was trying to tell you. Well, you said it was going to have coconuts. It didn't have coconuts when it was that time. Well, of course, it was a baby. But I was trying to tell you it was going to grow some coconuts eventually and start producing these coconuts. You know what I mean? Like that type of aspect. And it's like, you see somebody like that that's been more serious about taking care of his body. Talking about LaMelo.
Yeah.
Brandon Miller's healthy. Miles Bridges is a freak athlete. You know what I mean? He's one of them freak athletes at 4. He ain't just a
Miles Bridges is a freak athlete.
Yes.
That's what I was saying about they got a young center, but when you got a bouncy guy, Miles Bridges coming after your 4, he's going to help you.
Yeah.
He's going to cover you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because anything can go come your way. Think, you got Mr. Bouncy around. That's like having Russell Westbrook on your team.
Yes.
He's going to help you out. He's going to get 10, 12 rebounds.
Easily.
The more that you can't quite. Yeah.
He like a...
That about take 6'10".
About 6'10", yeah.
And that's not bad. That's not bad. He need to at least be 6'10", I think, to play big man ball.
When you have a 6'6" small forward
And who?
A 6'9" shooting guard and a 6'7" point guard. 6'10" work.
6'10" work.
6'10" work.
They got Miles
And-
Bridges
and then-
at 6'7".
6'7", 4.
A 4. That's good enough. That's good enough. That'll work, especially if you're that bouncy. You know,
They
got some
had no
work
problem
team.
beating OKC.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they had no problem with that.
Who's your pick coming out the East?
So, coming out the East is an interesting, consistent but inconsistent type of division. Coming out the East, I think that what you know who I'm going to roll with at the end of the day? Boston.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
I'm going to roll with
Freaking
Boston. I'm going to roll with Boston. They're
Yeah.
quietly always consistent, and they can pull the trigger at any given moment to bring back JT. Because JT, meanwhile, he's just cooking in the chamber in practice. And they keeping him silent, out of sight, out of mind, but he already practicing. And so it's like, well, you know, like, man, he ain't played. Look, the kind of motion they got going on right now, they can bring him back second round of playoffs if they want to. They ain't got to bring him back immediately. They only take one, and that's what restricted minutes, and they still going to get out the East. I think that there's only one team in the East, well, two teams in the East that I think that they're going to have troubles with, but I think it's only because this team last year, they owe it to themselves to try to scratch and crawl and see what they can get left.
Who that?
New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Brunson's a certified dog in the playoffs. I ain't gonna lie to you. And if Cat come ready to play, they almost are just as unstoppable as what OKC is too. But that's the part where I was just talking about the consistency. We know what Mikal Bridges is gonna bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? It's the fact of just them as a collective group. What are we gonna see? But it really, I agree with what Shaq was talking about. How Cat plays, it goes where his energy flows. Because Jalen Brunson can't do it by himself, but he can keep you in the game. But if I'm about to say, but if Karl Anthony Towns is doing his thing and he's playing great defense and he's a walking bucket like that, Jalen Brunson is going to be a pest. He's going to be a pest on the floor. He's going to make you. He's going to turn into Tony Parker, like Spurs have. He's going to turn to a Tony Parker. And he
No.
yeah, and you know how Tony Parker
That's
was
the
with Spurs.
worst.
Yeah, that's the worst.
That's the worst because it's the
Foul
best.
trouble.
It's the best because you're so worried about Tim Duncan.
Yes.
Shit. You know, you're so worried about and he just it's almost just like Jamal Murray. They got their championship out the way.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. You gotta account for you gotta help. Because one person is gonna get abused the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But then while you helping him, he can miss the bucket. Run around.
I'll tell you.
Like, God. You know,
He's foul. You know, Darren Brunson, once he do that, like that, beep, beep. And he good at timing it too.
It's three guys that are in my top 5, and I'll talk about the other 3 top bucket getters. And it's going to be Jalen Brunson, Jamal Murray, and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
I forgot the other 2, but in my top 5 right now in the league, those are my top 3 bucket getters. No, not top 3, but they're in the top 5.
Since we're talking about those 3, if we had to shuffle them in order, and I'm asking you before I even answer,
Yeah.
if we had to shuffle those 3 in order as
getting a bucket.
as getting a bucket in the NBA Finals,
Shit.
who's 1, who's 2, who's 3?
That's why they're on my list, because they got that pressure don't bust in pipes.
Okay. So how would you list them in order? Mm-hmm. How would you list these in order is the question. I know how I would list these in order.
Okay, I'm gonna
Based off the experience and what I've seen and what I evaluated.
Okay, I'm gonna go Donovan Mitchell number 1.
Okay.
Jalen Brunson, then Jamal Murray.
Okay. This is how I'm gonna do mine. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna literally just flip yours upside down.
Okay.
I'm going Jamal Murray
Yeah.
1 because he done 1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Jalen Brunson 2 because I've seen what he can do, and I'm gonna go with Donovan Mitchell 3 because I've seen what he did with the Jazz and never got over the hump. And that's just
I like that. Yeah. Either way.
That's just how I see it.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, he a dog, and he can get buckets. But I'm just talking about when it comes to that clutch. I've seen Jamal Murray turn into like Steph Curry and Kyrie
I've seen Jamal.
combined.
Yeah.
It's insane what he's done.
Oh,
Because I used to be like, dang, who
It's
what is
ridiculous.
freaking?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous,
When
dog.
he cuts that light on,
Arguably one of the scariest guards in the league.
when he cuts the light on,
Super Saiyan. And I think that's what the Nuggets are banking on. They're like, if he's healthy. The last couple of seasons, he ain't been healthy. If he's healthy and we get in there.
did you see some of the games the other night? The other night, they were down like, I don't know, 12 points, something stupid, 30 seconds,
Murray!
40 seconds left or some shit. His ass came down, bam, bam, step back three, off 1 foot sideways three, bam, a float three, bam. I'm like, y'all don't mess around. And think it's some trash can minutes. And Mr. Bucket Getter gonna get these buckets on y'all.
The buckets, dog.
Y'all gonna be going home in overtime by 1, 2 points. Like, man,
Because I know
we forgot. He gonna remind you. Watch the game highlight from the other night. He's a vintage Murray. He was like 40 seconds left. He just wham. I was like, oh yeah.
and he can do that too. And it's like what I'm thinking about. And to your point, those clutch buckets like that at times when you think you done closed out a team, that's what he does, and he keeps them in. He keeps them in the game. Just like that.
No man, Murray is a tough one. I went Brunson slightly over Murray because of that body. I seen when they did in them playoffs, man. Before they had Cat, you know what I'm saying? When them guys just wasn't showing up, and it was all him. There was nobody else doing nothing. Josh Hart wasn't hitting no buckets. Bridges wasn't nobody was hitting. They just all went cold for whatever reason. You knew who was gonna get the ball, and you knew what he was gonna do, and he did it every single time. He came down there like freaking, I don't know, it's just solid. Bang. He had that little Luka bump. I said they can't stop him. They can't do nothing with him. And then Donovan Mitchell, that little slight athleticism. What I saw him do in the bubble was the first time when him and Jamal was going back and forth. But the difference was it was Jamal and Jokic against Donovan Mitchell. It was just Donovan Mitchell. And then when he came back with them Cavaliers and nobody wanted to show up, it was just Donovan Mitchell again. And I'm like, when he cut that light on, ain't nobody stopping it. And you forget he can shoot it. Then he get to it. Yeah, man. It don't matter how you slice and dice them. But I see it makes it, you got to give Jamal the crown because he got the chip.
Got the shit.
He got the chip.
He
He got
bro.
the chip, man.
You got it, dog.
He got the chip. Man, it's fun watching all three of them, man.
They all can hoop. Like, they're all fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's outside of your Giannis's and your KD's. We ain't talking about them. LeBron's, like, you know. We talking about right now just them young bucket getters. Assassin. Fun to watch. I'm sitting there looking at Boston, and that Neemias Queta dude, certified 7-footer. They figure out a way to get it done every year. I like seeing good teams. That's how teams supposed to be.
I thought they was gonna fall off a little bit because Al Horford's not there. Because I was thinking about leadership, veteran presence, but you almost forget that he ain't even. They playing like as if he was already there still.
But you know they always have bigs on the depth because Queta was there last year.
Yeah,
He was on the depth chart. They are deep at bigs. Now, like even now, they got him and they got Nikola Vucevic. Like he's a good ass center. Queta had 17 rebounds. Who are they playing? Philly? Because then Vucevic had 12. Whoever was playing for Philly center must this guy.
funny.
Mollywop. They don't know nothing.
Sixers, Raptors. They'll be good basketball to watch. Pests against teams, but I can see them getting closed out 4-2 or whoever they play.
Who that?
Sixers and the Raptors. When it comes to playoffs.
Oh,
When they
yeah.
get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're gonna be fun to watch. Type of teams. Orlando, fun to watch type of teams.
What do I watch out there? What you think? What you think the Lakers gonna do? I was thinking about the Clippers, and I was just like, I don't know, man, because Kawhi.
Kawhi wants to do too much.
Kawhi-
I don't think they
he
can
look
go
good,
anywhere.
he look good, but man, that knee is.
So
Delicate.
Lakers, they go as Luka goes, and LeBron has to be able to submit to that. I think they're gonna have sparks, but I don't know it's gonna be enough. It's almost like you start a candle at the same, or you light an incense, but you can let it like get hot enough, and then it burns out, and then you got to relight it. I think that's how you like that. But that's literally how like you light up an incense that's fresh incense, right?
Yeah.
You blow it out, and then it can sustain the heat, right?
Right.
But you can sometimes light an incense and then blow out the heat too fast, and all of a sudden it's not even doing its instant thing, right? That makes me think about how LA plays in general. So what I'm looking at is LA. I feel like they go as Luka goes, but Luka gonna have to turn into like that Dallas Maverick Luka. Now he's been hot the last couple of games.
Yeah, but how do you do that alongside LeBron?
Well, I already said LeBron gonna have to submit to letting Luka kind of do his thing, and LeBron's, you know what I mean? Like LeBron gonna have to be trash can man. Trash can man. Trash can man is a very valuable. That's a very valuable position. So you know what you're doing is
it's a very valuable position.
It is. It's a very valuable position. Like I didn't mean to say like. Don't let the word trash can make it sound like as if LeBron trash, because that's my guy. He cold with it. But what I'm saying, he going to play trash can man when it comes, because you know who else plays trash can man? Zion. Zion plays trash can man, but that's his effective role. But he doesn't have enough dogs around him where his trash can man can look very valuable to the team. It's almost like they're wasting his talent out there in New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
But that's another story for another day. Let's get back to LeBron. So with LeBron needs to be playing trash can man for these two reasons. For one, LeBron can get a bucket anytime he wants to. For two, that allows for Luka to literally have the complete floor spaces to do what he wants to do versus LeBron being like, hey, I want to play off ball. No, maybe you need to be doing a lot of pick and rolls for Luka, because that's how he gets into his groove. Because one thing about Luka, if you picking and rolling for him, he going to get some buckets to you for free, and Luka is going to be pissing off a lot of people with getting them in foul trouble because they can't stop him. Because when Luka gets hot, he can shoot from anywhere. He a slow rolling walking bucket.
They're not. To your point, I see what you're saying, and they're not necessarily highlighting all the components of his game that kind of make the Luka effect, that Luka magic. It's kind of like how we have conceptualized like Steph Curry's magic, right? As not only him with the ball, they're like he almost just as bad off without the ball than with the ball, because he's running so much. You got to account for him, so he's making the defense do all this movement outside of what they normally will be doing. And that's the same thing with Luka. You don't think about that. You're right, absolutely right. The foul trouble that he puts the defense in, the pressure that he puts on that defense,
can be frustrating.
Right? You got to help, but then you can't help aggressively because you're going to foul him. So then not only is his man in foul trouble, but now the other people in foul trouble. Damn. And then toward the back end, third, fourth quarter, no wonder why he had the free throw line, because they're in bonus.
Exactly.
And they don't think about that. But if he's not getting his shot attempts, then maybe that full magic is not going to be able to work as effectively as possible. So they might need him to have a little more volume for multiple reasons. Not only for the potential to score more points, but to have that impact. I think LeBron can have the same impact. They're going to have to figure that out.
This is what I would do.
They got to figure that out.
If LeBron,
They got to figure that out.
if this is LeBron's like last rodeo with the Lakers,
Yeah.
then they need to do the New York Knicks effect. You need to max out playoff situation basketball, and you need to ride that till the wheels fall off to see how far you can go. It may be a roll in the dice where you can get all the way to the NBA Finals and win that sucker because of emotional momentum, or you at least can show how good of a team you can really be by making these adjustments and making it very effective. Are you ready for this one?
What?
Luka at the 1. LeBron at center. Rui at the 4. AR-15 at the 3. No, at the 2. Marcus Smart at the 3. Why, you ask?
I mean, I ask, why not?
Why the hell not?
Why?
I call it the New York Nick effect when it comes to, okay, we're going to maximize these 5 players,
But you know,
and we're going to see what we can do, because now the GOAT is forced to pick and roll for Luka.
Well-
So now y'all literally can be a pest. They can be a pest to a lot of teams because LeBron can post up anybody. This is why LeBron can play another 5 years, because he's still 6'9", 270,
yeah, man.
and still one of the most athletic freaks at his age, let alone if he was playing the 5.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at that. I'm like, hold on, you can pick and roll the hell out of people. Meanwhile, you got Marcus Smart just playing his role at the 3, playing defense, because usually you're going to need a really good defender there. But him and Rui can switch and guard a 3 or a 4 if they need to. I ain't worried about AR.
Then you got AR.
That's what I'm saying.
You got defense on your internal, because Roy's good on defense. AR is good on defense. Marcus Smart. I think you got to have a guy like Marcus Smart on the floor. Somebody, you know what I mean? Or Vanderbilt. You got to have one of those.
Draymond Green.
Play with attitude. You just got to have one there, right?
Yeah.
I like that. Why not? And I think that's more like a playoff death lineup. I think you roll that out, and you want to get them to get comfortable with it, you know. But you roll it out probably closer to the playoffs, so that teams don't have as much of a time and scheme and schematic against it. But absolutely, LeBron's strong enough for that.
Then you got 2 bigs.
And you got the minds now at 2 most important positions. You got the facilitators and the brain at the 1 and the 5. And so that ball is shoot.
Tim Duncan, Tony Parker.
Yeah. They'll figure it out. They'll come. I think they'll.
I hope they listening.
They're going to do it.
I hope they listening.
Absolutely.
Because I think that would be great. And it's like, okay, you still got Jackson Hayes and you still got DeAndre Ayton coming off the bench. But I like this because now whenever they come in, you got more size. Even more size. Now, we're not saying for them to be playing 27, 30 minutes. But if you can give me 17, possibly at the maximum 20 minutes of just some legit production, we don't have to sweep anybody, but we're going to get out in that game 7. We got to play way more basketball than we want to get out of each round, but we're going to get up out of there.
And, you know, the thing is, if the Lakers can figure out how to get into the playoffs, I like how they look. They had a good game yesterday. I think you can win for basketball like that. You know, LeBron had, what did he have? LeBron had 24 points. Luka had 28 points. AR had 12 points. Okay. You know, like, you can win some basketball like that. No, what was this? Yeah. They played the game. You can win basketball with LeBron putting up 24 and Luka putting up 28. I think the game before that, they played the Warriors. It was the same thing. And they both were contributing on the rebounding. So they got a well-rounded structure. They just have to figure out how to highlight and really kind of make it a mismatch. It's like when the Warriors introduced small ball, they exposed, they emphasized, they magnified their strength. And what it wound up doing is exposing the weakness on the other team. Because they had so much firepower on the outside, and they were so big on the outside, they can be small on the inside. Because now having a big guy was a liability, because they all can shoot and they all lighten you up, and you better figure it out. And so the Lakers kind of have that same position. They have a guy like LeBron James playing the 5, and you got Luka at the 1.
That's what I'm saying.
What are you gonna do?
It's gonna be tough.
Those just intelligence, knowing how to get in out of the paint, knowing how to cut, how to move. Like, that's one thing that, you know, separates really good 5s from other 5s, is the ones that actually know the game and know how to get in position to get out of the way at the right time and how to.
Because here's the thing, I was like, well, what if they match up with someone like
They just can't
Nikola
stay
Jokic?
that way, though. I don't think they can stay that way.
Well, absolutely. But playoff wise, that's the death lineup.
Death lineup.
Because they had a death lineup whenever he was with Cleveland.
That's a death lineup.
God dang, and they beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
So you might as well whip it out again. Because the thing I was looking at was, okay, what if you play somebody like Nikola Jokic? How would you guard that? And I was like, well, this is the time where you can switch roles where at times Rui Hachimura can be guarding Nikola. But then this is whenever Jackson Hayes comes in a lot, and DeAndre Ayton comes in a lot. Well, what you mean? Because they can't guard him, yeah, but they can slow him down.
That's all you need to do.
So they may get into a little a little foul trouble a little bit, and that's okay.
It's okay.
But when you got 2 7-footers coming off the bench, still more bodies going later down the stretch. Because one thing is, we're not trying to stop Nikola Jokic, but we can slow him down a little bit. And so now you still have enough talent to guard all of the other style of players. And I'm just using the Nuggets as an example. But I was thinking there's not too many centers. There's maybe about 2% of the centers in the NBA that can keep up with LeBron if he's at center. So now what happens?
It's not
LeBron uses this, and he's going to get them in foul trouble. Now they can't be as aggressive.
Absolutely. It's not a lot of centers. It's not just a lot of like dominant centers like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To where like it may be through 2 or 3, 4 maybe games, you know what I mean, to where he's not playing. You know, but then you have those 7-footers coming off the bench. So it all works out.
One last take. I got a question.
Yes,
Curious. I know we talk about this all the time, switching roles here, but what do you think about the Cowboys having a chance to win a Super Bowl with Dak? Based on how he played last year. And based on really, honestly, how good their offense looked with George Pickens and CD.
I think they have added another ingredient. I think for so long they've been switching and changing out ingredients, trying to find the right recipe. And I think that they found a solid base and they've added some key ingredients that I think helped take their chances, make their chances a lot stronger, in my opinion. I think the culture piece comes from the top down. And anytime you have a guy who doesn't have as much of enough personality individually to come out within the leadership, I would say hierarchy, meaning under Jerry Jones, kind of being second in command. If your alternative leadership energy isn't greater than that, then it's going to leave a void in the locker room as far as needing a general above and beyond just the players on the field. And then it kind of falls all on Dak. But then when you have several stars, you're going to have this little animosity. You're going to breed this little stuff. So I think, with Micah moving on to the Packers, it kind of reshuffles the voices in the locker room. And sometimes that can present a benefit, meaning I think now you see Dak more comfortable stepping into a commandatory general role. And you see him almost being a little bit more respected in that role because it's fine lines, and it's not like who we following behind? Who's the face of the Cowboys? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, okay, we understand Dak is the head of the ship and we go as he goes. This is our leader. And then with the energy coming from the head coach and Schottenheimer, I think that's an ingredient that's helped take it to the next level. So I think his fiery energy, I think they can feed off of. I think it's going to help glue that locker room together. And then you got Pickens, which I think is going to help supersede any of the natural ebbs and flows that it comes with performance. So anytime that CD's injured or you have injuries going on, now you have more talent to help fill those voids so that you don't have to worry about those injuries being as big of a detriment and generating losses, which in the past, if you're just leaning so heavily on one person, if they have a bad game or bad string of games or get injured, now a lot of those, they turn into losses. So then you're kind of behind the scenes. So I think that they helped themselves out a lot. I think now if they can solidify that defense and do whatever magic that they do every now and again when they put together a really solid defense, if they can go up 2 levels defensively, I think we're talking about Super Bowl contenders. I think if they even net neutral on offense, but maybe get a little stronger, but go up 2 levels on defense, I think we're talking about Super Bowl contenders.
I agree 1,000%. Because what I'm looking at is I'm glad they franchise tag George Pickens so that way you still have a little wiggle room when it comes to finances.
Right, absolutely.
To go sign some legit free agents.
Absolutely.
And so whenever you have a pretty healthy offense a great set of running backs. I can see Jaden Blue getting into a bigger role this year too, right with Williams. That's going to help out Williams a lot too at running back because when you have two dogs back there, that just changed the game because the defense has to adjust to each style of
Two
running
styles,
back. So looking at that, looking at how with Dak being so experienced, of course, you're talking about leadership. I'm looking at if they try to double team George Pickens and CD,
absolutely,
that he's going to be a pest like how Patrick Mahomes is when it comes to getting all these random first downs.
being able to run, yeah.
And so that's going to bring out his confidence. And then all of a sudden, some of those plays, he mess around and play bully ball because you forget Dak's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
You know what I mean? So that's going to help him out, and which will also settle down the running backs too, because there's going to be more holes, which means what? These offensive linemen will be able to create more lanes because of this. And then what I'm looking at is if they can get themselves another pass rusher, maybe another safety and a corner like legit studs in free agency, they'll be fine. I think they already have everything they need, in my opinion. They just have to kind of put it together with confidence. That's just what I'm looking at. I'm like, well, she kind of had everything you needed last year. It was just very inconsistent. And I think George Pickens being that firecracker on the team, that's what they need. They need that firecracker. Now they need to find possibly one firecracker on defense.
Yeah.
Possibly one firecracker on defense, and I think or two.
You need two.
Yeah, two firecrackers. Maybe one on the defensive front, maybe linebacker.
They need a linebacker and a safety.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something they get Sonny Styles from Ohio State? They just ran a 4.46 at 6'5". I think he's about 260. Had a 43-inch vertical. Did you see his brother? His brother is a defensive back from Ohio State. Lorenzo Styles.
How tall?
6'1", 190.
Okay.
But ran a 4.28.
Speed.
6'5", 260 linebacker.
Where are they from?
I don't know where they're from, but I think their pops played in the league too. And their pops is bigger than both of them. So, and it's like, what I mean by that? Like I saw him, there was a picture on Twitter, he was next to Sonny Styles, who's a linebacker at 6'5", about 250, 260. And he like 2 inches taller than him. I was all like, I don't know what's in the bloodline there, but it's some good speed, athletic genes. So I'm thinking, well, if you played at Ohio State, you must be a dog, both of them. But if we could get a linebacker like that, a big Roman linebacker where Daniel, you could have him coming off the edge as well as playing linebacker in general, I mean, that would be dangerous. But I think this year, based on
6'5",
these,
260. He coming off that edge.
a 43-inch vertical,
He coming off that edge sometimes.
bro, a 43-inch
I
vertical.
like Javon Curse. I think that might be Javon Curse's measurements.
I think so.
What, 6'5", 6'4", 265, something like that?
Running a 4.4.
The freak?
Yes, a freak. And a 43-inch vert because I'm looking at batted balls.
Explosiveness? Yeah.
Explosiveness, dog.
At 6'5", jumping in?
6'5". And the thing is, this is at the combine measure 6'5". These ain't
Right,
like
these
ain't,
they gonna crunch you down.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So this ain't like, oh, this is what it showed on the website of Ohio
With
State.
cleats, he probably 6'6".
He's 6'5".
Yeah, with cleats, he probably 6'6" and a half. 6'7" with cleats on, probably.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. So just looking at that, man, I'm like, I don't know where them two young guns gonna go, but they definitely have a draft stock that actually
4'2" that corner.
Yeah.
He getting paid.
Oh, for sure.
That means a lot at cornerback.
You have somebody that can cover a little bit longer.
What? It makes up for a lot of gaps on skill.
Precisely.
Like when you got that much speed, top speed, you can afford to slip, you can afford to get beat initially, you can afford to do a lot of things, because you got that makeup speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sheesh, good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.